man. Cause I was on your Instagram. I was like, I noticed you post all your videos and stuff. I was like, man, this dude's a hip hop head.
Yeah.
This dude's like a hip hop head. Like it's like crazy records that like just regular, you know.
It's an aesthetic that I'm trying to establish.
Yeah, I like that. Is that part of it? You always use that?
So I'm watching a band coming up like all through high school.
I want
and
to talk
college.
about that
so
too.
like, I've always had an ear. I've always bass has always resonated with me. So like anything 808s, of course. So
Yep.
I play tuba.
That's
part
the
of that
bass and the
Exactly.
brass.
So,
you get the best of both.
exactly, and I kind of pay homage to that when I come out with my intro. But yeah, I grew up dudes blasting neo soul, Mary J, Jill Scott, things of that nature. My dad, he's in the other room. Jay-Z, Nas, he's from Baltimore, so like a lot of up north 90s hip hop type. Like that's what I grew up on. So that's what's still
being like
That's awesome.
the white kid in the South and being like an internet kid, it was like that New York 50 Cent, Jay-Z, Nas. That was like the first thing I found. And it was like, oh, this is incredible. Like, what is this? So like it got deep. It started with like the Jay-Z, the Nas, and it went to Mobb Deep. And
what do you listen to now?
Everything, man. Honestly, I know that's pretty baseline. But
That's what everybody says, bro.
I'm kind of the same way. My favorite rappers right now are like the Griselda dudes. Still kind of up north, Conway, Benny the Butcher.
Benny's. I got a lot of Benny in rotation.
Bronson, Action Bronson, one of my favorite.
Okay.
Just that type of I like gritty, like
I feel you.
like
I feel
ESTG. Love ESTG.
ESTG.
Oh man, where's he? He's from Kentucky. Ain't he?
Yeah, Louisville.
He's from Kentucky.
ESTG.
But he's just like he's just trap rap, just like.
Bro, one thing I gotta ask is, I mean, I guess it's kind of like it's probably an obvious question. Like I'm sure you are. You're an Outkast fan?
Oh, yeah.
Because to put some stank on it, I immediately think of like Stankonia.
Yeah,
Outkast.
but
Like,
I didn't make the connection until after I said the line.
Yeah, it come from something else.
Nah, honestly, like, yo, you just don't say the name like a pussy. That's
I got you.
Put some fire on it, some
stank
stank
on
on
it.
it.
Stank on that name.
You know,
man.
it just came out, and one of those put it on a t-shirt kind of thing. So,
That's tight.
Heck yeah.
No, we seen that hoodie you was wearing this past weekend.
or
With
I like
the-
that.
actually,
man,
before
we
we
was
get
like, man,
into
we
that-
gotta get that.
Before we get into that and get in too deep, everybody, welcome back. No Look
Yeah.
Passengers, episode 83. I think we're in. We got a very special guest in the building. Not only do we have 3-time Father of the Year, he ain't whipping the minivan no more. He got the new whip this week.
Come on now.
You know, my man Party
Put some
Mike in the
stank on
building.
that.
Put some stank on that.
Yeah.
Yes,
B-Mate.
sir.
And then we have a very special guest. The
What?
new Wrestling Evolution heavyweight champion is in the building. The Dontay Khalifa.
All right, that's
Yes,
an
sir.
acceptable thing. I appreciate
I've been
it.
thinking about that all day. I was
I
like, I gotta
appreciate
hit the
it.
D.
Gotta say it
Gotta
right.
hit the D.
See,
So-
they asked me, like, is the stank interchangeable? Like, is it the or is it the Dante, or is it Khalifa? Like, where's the stank come in? You really gotta get that the right. That sets the tone.
Yes, it's like multiple E's. You know?
Yeah, it's about 3-4 E's in there.
You got to.
When I on the hoodie, I just got it just one E, but I probably need to go ahead and throw some more E's
You
on
could
it.
add some.
Nah, because if you put the stank on it, it's understood.
Exactly.
What's understood?
I had that
don't-
conversation
what's
today.
understood
Part
don't
of
need
what
to
it
be
says,
That's what I
man.
said.
You feel me?
So you get it. That's the
yeah.
confirmation I needed. Because I say, yo, but it's gonna be a big ass D. It's just gonna be big. They'll get it, as opposed to just some multiple E's. But I might do both. But like, just to know that it's gonna be something that get it.
Heck yeah.
With it. That's awesome.
So
I love it.
the first time I ever became familiar with you, bro, was actually at we got our man Joel out here behind the scenes. So shout out to Spotlight Scotty. So
shout
we
him
went,
out.
checked out.
Dog.
We went and watched Spotlight wrestle, and I actually met your dad outside in the parking lot.
Okay.
Just honestly, we was crushing beers outside of an elementary school, like some
How
crazy
about it?
shit.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Walking back in and just sparked up a conversation. I'll talk. I'm a talking ass dude. Like I'll talk. So I just sparked the conversation with him. And he was like, "Yeah, my son's wrestling tonight," and like he's like, "Look out for Dante." And I was like, "Cool, I will for sure." And before that, Joel did say good things about you. He said, "Hey, at this event, you got to watch out 2 people: Dontay Khalifa, Tommy Okami.
That was actually the first episode that I saw where he gave us that shout out side.
So yeah, so I was already kind of aware, and then I met your dad, and I was like, "That's cool as shit."
Okay,
he's awesome, dude. He's
right.
cool. We talked for like 30 minutes outside.
Really?
I can't even remember what we talked about. We was just talking, and
it's news to me.
so yeah, so it's like that was it. I was like, okay, Dontay, and then I watched you work. Great, man. You know what I'm saying? It's by far one of my personal favorites. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
And all the success you're getting now, man, it's just I love to see it, man. It's awesome to watch in the very short period of time since we've been, showing up and seeing it. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
I think it's been a bit has happened.
Oh
since
yeah,
then too, hasn't it?
A lot.
What match was that?
So that was the first Frankie match in Hickory.
Okay, so
Ring of Fire.
I wrestled Maurice Mars.
Maurice.
That's
That was
right.
the first
Yeah.
time
He
I
was
seen
there.
Maurice.
Yeah.
This weekend,
That's my dropper fella.
Okay, heck yeah.
Dropper fella.
Shut up, Joe.
That's my boy there.
Heck yeah, man.
And he's in the area, like he's local too. Like he
Dude,
goes
I've
out
hit
to
Maurice
Hickory.
up
Really
about coming out.
Get him on, bro.
Dude, he hits because I know he's in the video, making videos and editing and.
So you been keeping up with?
Yeah, man. I keep up. I keep up with y'all, man. Like for real, it's an honor, man. Like no lie, man. I appreciate you coming down, here, man. For real,
for sure.
We need y'all. So.
But also another thing, man. I want to ask Khalifa.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you come up with that, man? Because me, young dude again, Wiz Khalifa. That was the first time I ever heard the word Khalifa.
Mm-hmm.
So I was obviously
That's
being
right where the mind goes. It's like
curious.
Yeah.
What is this? And
Yeah.
I get it. I understand Khalifa. Like the ruler, the emperor, and then you cut the promo, bro, and you're like, I am the Khalifa of this wrestling shit,
Right?
and it's like, I like it, man. But it's like, where'd you come up with that? Because like, it's. To me, it was just Wiz Khalifa was everything, and then I like learned about it. I was like, oh, this is an powerful word.
I was born Khalif
Okay.
Dontay Jones. Khalif Dontay Jones, spelled with a C, Caleaf, but Khalif derives from the term Khalifa, like you said, ruler, successor. You're always gonna have there should always be a Khalifa. You're gonna have a king. A ruler, somebody in position, there's always a successor.
The heir,
exactly. Yeah. That's going to fulfill that position. It's his. The
Yeah.
throne is his, Dontay, that's Khalif Dontay Jones. I'm like, it's me.
Yeah.
It's me. It's just, dial it up,
Twist
turn
it.
it up, and that's I'm the one and only. Like, there is no other.
It's
there might be another Dontay, there might be another Khalifa, but there's only one
They ain't
Dontay
the.
Khalifa.
They ain't
you know
the.
what I mean? They're
That's
not.
Dontay Khalifa, man.
They're not.
Let's go back to wrestling, man. What's your earliest wrestling memories, man?
So I take them back to like a few. I got a few, right? I started watching in 2008. I was about 8 years old. One of my earliest memories is watching the fallout from WrestleMania. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Because I saw the build-up between Floyd Mayweather and The Big Show.
The Big Show, yeah.
I was big on Floyd, like,
Yeah.
watching Boston coming up, but that's what really hooked me in, honestly.
Whenever he broke his nose for
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
Like,
and that's
Bro, I did not even know that was a thing.
yeah.
Floyd was jumping in
oh yeah.
on that.
Yo, and I
Yeah.
think that was
With the
Big
Big
Show's,
Show?
that was Big Show's return. He comes through there, he chopped it down, knocked him a few times on the nose, broke his nose, and
Damn.
that locked me in. Of course, being 8 years old, my people weren't paying for the pay-per-views or
Yeah.
whatnot, so you get the fallout. But so I came in around the time where Ric Flair was retiring, so I had the chances to watch the transition from Ric Flair's retirement match with Shawn and then watching him wrestle and have his run in TNA.
TNA, yeah.
I was a big TNA head.
That was my. So TNA used to come on like a Wednesday on Spike or something
Like
before
Wednesday,
they moved
Thursday?
before they moved it to go to
Okay,
Raw or
okay.
when they put it on Monday.
Yeah.
So I would go stay with my grandma because my grandma would let me stay up and watch. I didn't have a bedtime. Dude, I remember watching TNA. I mean AJ, Frankie, Suicide. Remember when Suicide came out?
I wrestled Suicide.
Yeah. So, dude,
Not too long ago.
I thought that was the coolest guy in the world, bro. Just all suited up. I love
the
TNA.
main event Mafia was.
Oh, come on, man.
Yo,
That's
that was my first real faction that I can remember that was really making an impact. You had Booker.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about Booker's WWE run until you come in, you start doing your
you put the pieces together.
Yeah, start doing your research and finding out like WCW, 2001 what Alliance versus
what is this?
You just start finding this stuff, and this back when like YouTube didn't have all these restrictions, or you can find a whole
you can find a whole pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was all on YouTube.
It would be in like 10 parts, but
but it was there, So coming in, Undertaker was my main guy though. So I come in around the time when he's fighting Big Show and Edge and all of them.
SmackDown 6, man.
Yeah,
I loved it, dude.
That's my intro.
I will argue, because I was born in '96, so I didn't really get the Attitude Era. Kind of the same way. I was 6 years old in 2001 or 2002, so like, it's like I understand the greatness. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but the era after that, you know what I'm saying? Like 2004 to like 2010, just like. That was it for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like the SmackDown 6 brother, early John Cena Thug Life, like Brock Lesnar coming in, the next big thing, Brock.
See, Brock was gone by the time I started watching. So like I saw his stuff in UFC and I'm like, okay, if he makes his way back over here, that's gonna be a problem. And then, I was deep in it by the time he came back. And he's another one of my guys too. He's another one you had to go back and kind of study, because he's a freaking animal.
So it's crazy hearing you say that, because you say the Big Show and Floyd. Then I'll watch you wrestle and like, you don't wrestle like the Big Show. You know what I'm saying? So like,
let me ask you from a fan's perspective, like, if you had to connect it to something that you've seen already, like, what is it? What in terms of another wrestler, a few other wrestlers that you can think of, like, what does it remind you of?
Low Key in TNA.
Really?
Yeah. If obviously Evolution to ceiling's high.
Yeah.
So like, there's not that part of it, but just like the quickness. You know what I'm saying? The speed. How I've always loved like kicks, bro. Like the jumping kick you be doing, bro. Like I don't know why. I just always loved the kicks, bro.
I popped Furio with a kick the other day. Like I caught his kick, poked him in the eyes, spun him, gave him a kick. Give him another one, belt him up, give him another one. But I was very intentional about throwing those kicks and adding the kicks to the arsenal. So that's awesome to hear that.
So like I would say that's just off top and talking about TNA, but I would say that's like, I just love like the kind of the mix of like I don't even want to say karate. That's not the first word that came to my head. But
I mean, I'll throw on some Jackie Chan and watch that and really like something.
I would even say like a early AJ, like TNA AJ, without the. I ain't never seen you jump off a ladder yet. But I'm not saying you can't. I see it. I see the potential. But I would kind of compare it to that. Who would you say you like? I don't think you like model yourself after anybody. But who do you like? Maybe even a Rob Van Dam. Like talking about it more. It's like who
I used to really like Van Dam coming up too. Like,
what bags do you kind of take out of?
So, in terms of like, I've always, they always put Undertaker's strike game over. Like, he's the best striker in the game. So like, it's a bit of that in there, like a bit of Taker's in there.
I will say one of my favorite things about watching wrestling and good wrestling is the punch, man. If you can't throw the punch, man, if the punch don't look good, I think it can ruin it for me. Especially like, taking someone like P Mike, who doesn't understand it. Like if he kind of sees like a missed punch, it's like, oh man, this ain't. So like the art form of throwing those, bro, is like.
Oh yeah, I'm a wacky.
You know what I'm saying? Like I love that shit. Like every time, throw that shit stiff, man.
Yeah, I'm a wacky.
Throw it stiff. So you say Undertaker striking. Who you grapple after? You would say.
Well, I wouldn't say I really model, and I don't model too much of anything for real. Like I just kind of see what works for me, just with my limbs, and I wrestled in high school.
Okay.
I was an amateur wrestler.
What weight you wrestle at?
Man, I came into high school about 138. Wrestled 52 as a sophomore.
There's some 52's
Got
some dogs in high school,
that's
man.
when you start getting to the rugged.
Yeah.
The rugged guys at 45, 52. But I went to states at 160. I wrestled 160 as a junior. Didn't do too much cutting as a senior, but like I maintained about that 160. That was my class.
How'd you manage the marching and the wrestling at the same time, man?
I mean, it's 2 different seasons.
I guess it is, right?
Yeah.
Because basketball season is wrestling season.
You're right.
Yeah,
right.
that's how I always had to like separate them. Football, and then
Yeah, it was just.
What got you into the band, man?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't want to do marching band at all. My mom, she marched, and she's like, you're in the band. I'm like. I told the band, I'm not coming here. Like, she's like, yeah, he's gonna come. You don't expect to see me because I'm not coming. But all I want to do is wrestle.
Yeah,
like, I knew at 8 years old, like that's what I want to do. Like they ask you coming up, I might want to be a pirate or whatever. I had a little run as a pirate, but once we got the professional wrestler, like that's what it was.
That's what it was.
That's what it is. So.
That's pretty tight. You've stuck with that.
Yeah, since 8. Like,
that's what you love.
Yeah, it's been the plan.
So
that's why this doesn't seem like unnatural at all for me. Like just.
No, you look comfortable, bro. You look like a champion. You know, like pause, but you got like you look like it, man. Like it's awesome to see. But so Dontay, right before we went to break, you said something that. Let me take it off.
You need headphones?
Yeah, you good. You said something that was really inspiring, actually. You said from when you was 8, you knew you wanted to be a pro wrestler, and you did it. So I didn't even know you was that young.
That's what I was thinking. You
So, like-
were born in 2000?
99.
99. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
birthday is in a few weeks.
Gotcha.
Happy
man.
birthday! Hey,
Come
happy
on
birthday.
now.
Great birthday present.
Yeah, how about it? Yeah.
Sir.
So I just find that inspiring because me growing up living life, man. I would have looked, and when I was 8, I wanted to be a wrestler, and I never did it. You know what I'm saying? I was always scared. I was always like, man, I just let people talk me out of it. I got to high school, people told me wrestling was whack. Quit watching. I quit watching it for a little time.
When did you start watching? What was your?
So I quit watching. It was right before Rock and Cena.
Oh, okay.
I watched
like 2011, like right before the match, or like
I watched the first one,
Uh-huh.
and then I didn't watch the second one.
Okay.
So it was like
you
right
on your
in
way
there.
out for the
Yeah.
first one. Okay.
So I was like, all right, I was kind of like secretly watching it, like, like no one knew type.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
But anyway, I let life, not even life. I just let people affect me. It's like retrospectively stupid. You know what I'm saying? But the question is, with all that being said, the question is, what made you not give up the hope or like not sway from the dream? Like people, I'm sure there were people like Dontay. You can't be a wrestler, man. But like, what was it in you that like never let you? Because now I don't give a fuck. People are like, oh, you got your little podcast. Yeah, I do. I do that. That is what I do, and I'm fine with that. I'm comfortable now.
Too, yeah.
But I had to grow into that. So like, how did you have that from a child, and how did you keep that? Because that's just fascinating.
I mean, I've just always been like different. I've always been like the oddball. Coming up, I wasn't the most athletic guy coming up. Like, couldn't shoot threes. Like, couldn't throw or catch the football. Like, so that was kind of all ball in that sense. But like, I've always gravitated towards wrestling. And wrestling is different. Like, it's completely different from anything else. It's its own thing, and it kind of spoke to me early. It'd be times I can recall my dad asking me something school related. We're in the car on the way somewhere. He's asking me, might have been, I'm not even sure what subject, but he asked me about the subject. Couldn't tell him. He was like, all right. He waits a little while. Hey, so in the Triple H champion, I said, no. Jeff Hardy took the title from him in the Triple Threat match because he was in. They gave him the whole spiel. See, you can tell me about that, but you can't. You know. So I don't know. It's been the plan, man, and I've always known that wrestling, because of how different it is, because of what it is, there's always going to be a group of people that ostracize it or look at it like, yo, that's the F word, or you're wasting your time with that. But yo, wrestling came to me at a time where I felt alone. You know, where I didn't have people, I had wrestling. I felt like, you know, and to be able to be that for other people, and like, yo, you just can't beat it. Like, this is the best job I feel like in the world. Honestly.
Oh, it's, as a fan looking at it, it's gotta be, right?
Yeah,
you know, it's
right.
like, it's gotta be. And that too, what you just said. So I got back into wrestling during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I got COVID, you know, it was like early COVID. So it was like, you got to sit in the crib 14 days, can't leave, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And all I had was, I was just like going through it, just life, you know what I'm saying? So that was 4 years ago. I was 24 at the time. Kobe year, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, Kobe had just died.
Yeah.
Nipsey had just died. I was like,
Yeah,
bro, what is
we took
going
some
on? And like,
hits.
just like life, like I've seen my idols like go away, you know what I'm saying?
It's
It
a
was
weird
like, damn.
feeling.
It's a weird feeling. I was just going through it, you know, with depressed, whatever, anxious, whatever you want to call it.
Is that when they put everything on Peacock?
So I was in a room with nothing to do but Peacock and the PlayStation. Stop it, Joe. And I don't know. It's like the first 2 days I was just kind of like watching wrestling or whatever.
Or not? He said Peacock.
I was just.
Okay.
I was just watching wrestling or whatever, but a moment, literally, I was just watching it, and I went back and I was watching Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle, dude. I'll never forget it, where Eddie unties the boot, and Angle puts him in the angle lock, and he slides out.
Yeah.
And I was like, this used to be my favorite thing in the world. Why did I let the world tell me that this isn't cool or you shouldn't do this? And literally, it sounds so crazy and weird, but like sitting there and then those 14 days, bro, I just watched wrestling and I really self-analyzed myself of like, you don't do shit that makes you happy. You do shit for other people, and you do shit that like is not what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Look
like,
a certain way to the world and not be.
and I know it sounds crazy, but wrestling brought me to that realization of like, bro, life is too fragile and too short to not do what you want to do and chase a dream, man.
Yo, and to that, right? Like, as somebody who does have a history of being a people pleaser, like, wrestling has helped me in that regard, because it's gonna. You see me, like, yo, I'm not here to please. Like, of course, in the grand scheme, you know, we do what we do, but like, yo, the Khalifa, I'm not here to. I don't need your recognition. Like, look, you're in your face. I don't. They could be cheering at. I don't need you to do that. Like, that's a completely.
I'm gonna get mine.
Yo, that's completely different from me as somebody who, you know, maybe wanted those friends. You know, was isolated but wanted to be in those groups, wanted to go to those parties, but you know, just didn't because I was just so different coming up. So like, to kind of be able to lean into that now and like, and that's what I'm highlighted for. Like, yes. I'm blessed, man.
Yeah, I just think it's like that's the coolest part about it to me, bro. Because like, you can change the dream. You know, yours is wrestling, ours is building this podcast and entertainment. But we're both in this weird middle ground of like just chasing this thing that no one else believes in. Like we gotta believe in our shit so much. Like we gotta be crazy about it, and it's like. I think that, like, the common gray area is, like, almost where I like to be. You know, it almost feels comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like being around people like that who understand.
That's on the chase.
Yeah, on the chase, man. Like, if you know, we got certain quotes up here amongst these signatures and shit, but my favorite one, bro, is patient, not complacent. And it's like, I've never seen no one not make it in anything. I've seen people quit. I've seen people give up. But in any walk you've ever seen, a wrestler, a media person, anything. I've never seen nobody not make it if they believe in it.
If somebody stays at it,
It's almost
they're
like
gonna get their time.
manifestation. If you give up and quit, that's on you. You know, I don't think
You
that's
just decided it right there.
you decided it. You know,
Dontay,
And-
the one thing you've done that nobody in this room is even talking about right now is, and I see this every time I watch one of your matches. I'm one of those ones that like silently stays in the shadows and watches you and watches how you're progressing. And I think it's amazing what you're doing. The one thing that you do that is rarely seen on the indies, okay, is you are still out there putting in the work. You're still, you're evolving with the times, with everything. You're putting in the work to be better in the ring. You're watching matches. You're coming up with new stuff. A lot of these guys, you tell them that it's in one ear and out the other. And every time I'm on this podcast, I say, you got to put in the work in life. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if you're the janitor, go be the best janitor you can be. If you want to be a podcast king, be the best podcaster you can. If you want to be a pro wrestler, be the best pro wrestler that you can be. Do everything you can at the best of your abilities and put in the work to be there. That title is so well deserved. It's not even funny.
yeah, that's another thing too,
So,
man.
with that being said, what are you doing to put the work in? Like, how are you working to be better?
That is
What's
a good
what's
question,
something
Joe.
that you could talk to other wrestlers? See, I can tell you all day what I do, but I know what works for me. And you saying something right now, it might be like a light bulb go ding, off over my head real quick, and I'm like, oh crap, that's pretty good. I might want to go do that. So what's something that you do in your, like, maybe it's preparing for a match, maybe it's
Well,
like what's some type of film you're watching and things of that sort?
So I think the difference from what I've noticed so far, I ask the questions. Like I'll go to the OGs in the locker room, like the people who've been there, and have the experience, and I just try to pick their brains, pick you guys' brains, like as often as I can. Because especially guys with some real tenure in the industry, like who've been around for so long, like you've seen guys come in and you've seen them come and go. So it'd be foolish of me not to take advantage of the wisdom from the old heads in our locker room, the pioneers in our locker room. So I ask a lot of questions. I try to get guys to the OGs to watch and watch me and critique me, because you got to be coachable. I feel like you had to be coachable.
Yeah. My favorite is whenever you tell one of these kids. So I'll tell you this: I had a show a couple of weeks ago. Kid asked me to watch his match, for example, right? So I watch his match, and I tell him, "Hey, you did ABC wrong, but you did XYZ right." Well, and immediately starts defending what he did wrong. Does that? Well, you see, let me tell you, when you hear that come out of somebody's mouth, they're not ready to be coached. They don't want to. All they want is the compliment. Oh, that was a good match. Well, if I don't tell you anything wrong that you did with your match, or if there was something that I saw, even if it's nitpicking the smallest thing, how can you get better? Mm-hmm. I nitpicked myself. I went back and watched my own match.
I mean, there's something to that, man. That's across everything. Like, being coachable is like probably one of the best traits you could have just as a human being. Like, what's Tom Brady with no Belichick? You know what I'm saying?
Tom Brady without Victor Martinez. That's what a lot of people don't know. His old high school coach used to watch his film, and they used to break it down every Monday morning. And he would tell Tom, your fundamentals are off here, up until the day that man died. And a lot of people don't know that Tom did that.
And it's like, imagine telling the best quarterback ever, like, hey, man, your mechanics are wrong. Your mechanics were wrong Sunday. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you got to hear that.
See,
like,
but in terms of, like, sharpening my game, like, I do watch a lot of myself. Like, I'm my biggest critic. So, like, I'll have a match on a Saturday. We'll come in the next week. All right, this didn't really land how I wanted it to land, or my footing was off here. Like, and we make the corrections, and you try it again. Like, it's just about really self-analyzing. Like, you had to be self-analyzing, self-reflective. Right. That's what's helped me, like, just being my own biggest critic, because you got people that'll tell you like, yeah, that's good, but you don't learn too much from that,
Right. So to add to that, so I had the match where they met you at, right? So today, as a matter of fact, I'm sitting at my house doing paperwork for work, and I'm like, I'm gonna pop that on just for the hell of it, just to go back and watch it. Within the first 3 minutes, I turned it off, and I was mad at myself because I'm like, I should have done this, this, and this, because I've evolved so much as a worker since then, and being in different, locker rooms. So we're not going to name drop or anything, but being in those locker rooms and then seeing how they do things. And now it's like, oh my God, I should have done this and I should have done that. And that was the best match I've ever had. And I'm sitting there going, wow, I can blow that out of the water with a broomstick now.
I think that's with everything, bro. Me, P. Mike, and Trevor actually had this conversation today, bro. It's like, man, I think our main goal is to be better. Everything we put out needs to be better than what we just put out. I think that should be the goal, bro. Like, you get so focused on like, why am I not where I think I need to be, or like we'll stop and take another break in a minute. Dontay, we'll get that fixed up for you. Nah,
but man, the challenge is still being creative. And the challenge is within our business is still making the challenge within our business, Dontay, is still being able to correct yourself, but then turning around, because the audience might have seen that in a certain way. The fans seen, oh, well, okay, I've seen this spot before. He's getting ready to do this, and you don't want to be so repetitive so much that then you gotta, then the next show you gotta, in front of the same crowd, you might go to that same spot, but you gotta throw the audience off a little bit, like with a cutoff, or they might have seen the tackle, drop down, hip toss, arm drag, scoop slam, powder. So this time, instead of throwing the arm drag or something, as soon as they come up with the hip toss, you tell them to come back, block the hip toss, and do something to you and cut you off, right? Block the hip toss and give me the clothesline, and then we'll go to heat.
There's something out of the order.
Yeah, something where they're like, oh, shit, I didn't see that coming. That's awesome. So that's the challenge within our business that a lot of people don't see, is how do we change that up? The one guy who didn't do that but was always considered the greatest was Ric Flair. Because if you go back and watch what Flair did that was smart, the only person he couldn't do it with was Steamboat. But go back and watch all the guys that he quote-unquote molded: Sting, Luger, Vader, even all these people that we talk about were great during that time. If you go back and watch what Flair did, Flair was smart. He taught Sting how to work with Ric Flair, but Sting didn't know how to work with Randy Savage as well.
Now let me cut you off real quick and ask a question, which leads me into another point.
Hang on, let me keep this thought for 2 seconds. Okay, so hang on to that question. So, but if you go back, my OG is Shawn Michaels. You go back and watch Shawn Michaels, and how many times he would work Triple H? How many times over his career in the second run? He probably worked him 100 times on TV. And how many times did they come up with something different every time?
Yeah.
Okay, so this actually leads to the question: what is that part right there? Is that not?
Oh, it's genius.
The art of the sale, though. Like,
well, no. That wouldn't be the art of the sale. That's the art of putting the match together.
Okay.
So
because to me, Sean's best part, my favorite thing with Sean is watching him get kicked in the head.
Right. But but how many times do you watch him get kicked in the head, and how many times do you have to make that new and creative?
Oh, bro.
So that's
you're
what
expecting the kip up, and then he kips up and doesn't make
what
it.
I'm saying is Flair was smart, because what Flair knew is if he kept a revolving flow of baby faces around, and he taught them all how to work with him, but they didn't know how to work with, let's say they didn't know how to turn heel and work with Dusty Rhodes, or they didn't know how to work the Road Warriors, or name Wahoo McDaniel, or just name heels on the other side, all these baby faces. He knew he could keep himself at the top of the card, still make that money, and still keep himself in the main event, but everybody was revolving, always chasing Flair. See, that's where Flair was a genius that a lot of people don't see, that's what he did. He taught Sting how to work a Ric Flair match. Sting didn't know how to work a heel Hulk Hogan match.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think there's just, as people, bro, we just want the bad guy to win sometimes, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think Dontay's on to what I'm saying.
But
I don't think you're grasping what I'm saying. I'm saying Flair was keeping himself in the main event. He was smart in doing that. Yeah,
I get it. Yeah. But at the same time,
well, yeah, you got to have the business is always better when the bad guy, whenever the good guy is chasing the bad guy.
It's kind of my thing with Cody right now, but I don't want to get, we ain't got to
But
get too
WWE's
deep into it, man.
WWE's the exception to the rule.
It's a machine. It's different.
Yeah, it's all about the merchandise. It's all about the merchandise. And I hate peeling back the curtain like this. God, I hate it. But at the same
then shut
time,
the fuck up, Joe.
Hey,
Let
listen,
us
if you want
rock,
to step
man.
outside
Let
right
us rock,
now,
man. It's about the Dontay Khalifa in here right now.
I mean, I'm just asking you, Dontay, like, think about that for a second. Like, what are the things that you're doing to keep yourself fresh, so to speak, not going stale?
Is there like a, I don't even want to say like
Not that you're getting stale, because everything you're doing is fresh as fuck.
I mean, because that's something that I fight with all the time. Like, because I don't want it to.
Right.
I don't want it to be repetitive. So like, I'm intentional about how often I'm putting myself out there. It may seem like like he's always in front of our face, but like, I'm very intentional about when I'm in front of your face. I appreciate you.
So while he's doing that, so you're intentional. Are you saying like, I'm not necessarily. I'm talking about like not even necessarily the promo work. I'm talking about maybe more in the ring.
In the ring.
Yeah, more like, what are you doing? Because here's the one thing, man, that I love about your matches is no Dontay Khalifa match is ever the same.
never.
Yeah, I try to be that way with mine. No Spotlight Scotty Brooks matches ever the same. Mm-hmm. So I try, there's certain things that, there's certain signatures, there's certain things we're going to hit during that, right? But I feel like the greats, with the exception of a couple of them, no match was ever the same. So what do you do to keep yourself? How do you keep that creativity? Do you look to, so for example, do you look to others like the old heads and go, man, I'm stuck on this? Or do you just say, no, or is it just natural creativity?
We just go out there. I'm just trying to put on, like, I pay attention to what else is happening on the card.
Right.
And it's like, that's the idea. Like, you want to be different. Like,
yeah,
it has to be. Like, that's the only way you're gonna. I just want to be remembered. That's my goal in wrestling right now, to be remembered and to be able to branch out, and I won't be able to branch out if you don't remember me. Like,
It's a fact.
I'm pretty sure it's yours people still thinking about the stuff that went down on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and like, I'm big on the only way. I think that the only way that you get people to remember you is through moments. So I think every match should have a moment. Like,
right.
There should be something about your match that stands out. So, and that's gonna be the trick. That is the hard job coming into every match. Like, how can we make this different?
And not only that, on the indies, it's not like you got a storyline every week that people are getting to see.
So, exactly, and I think that's why it's important for us to tell our own stories and run our own narrative. Like, me, Rayhan and I are about to fight for the 4th time this year in the 3rd different state. Like, this is an ongoing rivalry, but like,
they haven't seen that yet.
They haven't seen it. Exactly. And that's, but people who are keeping up with it on social media, like, they get the narrative.
Isn't it amazing how people will travel for that?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Dude,
I mean,
man.
It's one of those things that you don't think about being an outsider, but like, I'll see people show up from, so the big match coming up. There's people from the Hickory area that have come in and already bought tickets for that didn't see that match, and or that saw that match, and they're like, we're not missing this one. Mm-hmm. And then there's the new heads that haven't seen it, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I heard such good things about the first one. Right?
And I think that's good data for us that we should be able to keep track of.
Yeah.
And as a means of marketing ourselves, like, this is what the promotion was doing prior to me coming in.
Right.
All right. Look at I want to collab as an entity. So let's see what the numbers look like on posts that involve me. Like, let's have the data to back up what we're saying. I think that's important.
Yeah, if you don't have that data, I agree with you 100%. So that's one of the things I've been keeping track with the big one coming up is, as that's as everything's going. I'm keeping track of. Okay, well, on this night they're drawing this, and this. But well, before I got there, they were only putting 25 people in a building. Now they're putting close to 100 in a building. And then whenever we get to the big shows, now we're putting, the big quarterly shows, we're putting. Last one was 400 and some. The next one, we are already on track for close to 600 based on ticket sales right now. We're looking at 600, and it's going to be a standing room only crowd again, probably. But that's a great problem to have whenever you're on top, or if you're even just on the card. That's a great, because now you're getting yourself and that promotion out there. And that's what's lost in today. Two things are lost, I think, today on the indies, Dontay. And I'll ask you if you agree with me. I think, the ability to tell a story inside and outside the ring are lost. Everybody wants to come out and do spot. That's where I think what you and Rayhan are doing is so unique.
Well, I was about to say, I think that's an individual thing, because I get the story when I watch Dontay. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm saying that is an individual thing, but it's also an indie thing right now. Everything's lost. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm giving you the props right now. In that,
100%,
you are light years ahead of a lot of people. In that, you understand already at this level in the game where you're at right now. You're already light years ahead of a lot of people, and you understand you understand what it takes. There's still some things you gotta learn, and I'm
still learning. Everything that I'm saying, I'm still learning, yo. I'm young as hell in this. So
how long you been in the business now?
So I had my first match in May of 2023. I started consistently taking bookings in September.
So that's right around the time we met.
Yeah. That's when I'm
going to tell you right now, and I want this to be on the air. It's an honor and a privilege, my friend, to have been around that long in your career.
I appreciate
you. You are on the right course. I could see you being in the big money.
Oh, I see it.
I see it all. It's all over you, dude.
You can ask Joe. Every time we went and watched him, and then he was like, "Oh, you should come down to so and so." And I was like, "Dontay gonna be there?" He's like, "I ain't on this. Nah, don't think I'm gonna make it, Joe."
Support independent wrestling. Go to those shows.
One more thing before we take another break. The reason I bring up selling when you brought that up, but because I thought of a very specific point. We went and we watched a card with Dontay on it, and there was wrestling. The matches were good, but I remember one thing about this card, and Party Mike remembers one thing about this card, and Trevor will remember one thing about this card, and it's when, and you'll know what I'm talking about, when they put you in the neck brace and in that wheelchair.
Bro, what? That was my favorite part.
That was some of the best. Hey, bro, I shit you not.
Yo, shout out that boy Tim, man.
I shit crazy. You not, bro. That was some of just the best. It was comedic. It was it worked, bro. It fit. I was like, nah, that's what.
Yo, I know that's this number 7 ranked power slap. So
yeah, dude.
No, the slap is banned.
Yeah, bro.
No, he can't hit me.
That was the story. Like Joe was saying,
it's not fair.
The loss of the story is it's not there. But
see, that's what a lot of people don't do. That's where I'm saying in those areas. It was
awesome, dude.
Thank you, bro.
In those areas, man, you are
made
light
my
years,
night, bro.
You are light years ahead of a lot of these kids on the indies. They don't get it.
So I may have misspoke when you were talking about that, but that's the first thing I thought it was the sale, bro. That and the story, it made so much sense, dude. And it was executed so perfect.
It's
and I was
the moments. And
he gets it, bro.
The moments. I just.
What do you do for training, man? You lift a lot of cardio.
A lot of calisthenics.
Okay.
A lot of calisthenics. I wrestle. I coach. I coach wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Well. So I gotta.
You got any dogs?
Oh, this year, my 215, he gonna make some noise this year. My 215, my 175, he's deciding whether or not he wants to go down, but I think we keep him right where he's at and just eat at 75.
And this is high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of those upper weight classes. I have at the 106 class, I got somebody who came in, he weighs less than 100 pounds.
Damn.
So we working to put some weight on him, but he's
just an animal.
He's a dog. He comes in, he goes to work, he's working to be in the front of every drill, and that's all I'm looking for. just give me some effort.
Heck
We
yeah.
can work.
You like being a coach? You like you
I
kind
do.
of get the rewarding feeling of like,
This is my 4th year coaching.
okay,
3rd year as head coach, and I don't know. I'm not sure how many more many more seasons I have coaching, but we're gonna make the most of this season,
heck
and
yeah.
it is very rewarding. It's very fulfilling, especially to be able to coach at my alma mater.
Oh, that's even more fire.
You can't beat it, man. So
Does any of that feeling or like inspiration or like motivation, does any of that transfer over to you wrestling?
it's just it's the same. It's the same person. Like
Mm-hmm.
Dontay Khalifa is the Dontay Khalifa. It's a mode that I used to get into before going into my matches, like in
Yeah.
high school. Like I had the headphones on, listening to Saliva.
Okay,
Different-
so Saliva.
yeah, different. I had Triple H thing playing in my headphones, but like I would get in this mode. Like at one point in high school, it wasn't even about like winning matches for me. I guess I don't know what I was going through at the time, but like at one point it was really about just going out and having my opponent like feel me, like when I
You
when
just
I
trying to
stopped.
pin them.
Not even. No, I just wanted to hurt you. Like,
Even
I
better.
wasn't. Like I'm saying, I wasn't trying to win or none of that. I was just. They gonna feel me when I come off this mat. When they
You're gonna make them know that you there.
they gonna remember me.
Yeah.
Like, not sure what I was going through at the time. Eventually we mature from that. We develop a winner's mentality. Just a better mentality, because that's not why we're there. That's not what you're not there to just. Well, granted, there are some that are just there to kind of let off some steam.
That's true.
And that's what it's for. That's the beauty of wrestling, though. Like, it's for us guys who have a lot of pent up testosterone, and that's our ability
I don't
to
think
get
it's
it
just
out.
necessarily to just wrestling either. I think it's to a lot of sports.
Yeah, just athletics. Period.
Just athletics,
man.
period.
It's
I
made-
mean, football, you get to, there's not another sport in the world where you get 20 seconds of unadulterated violence and then the referee blows the whistle to stop it so you can do it all over again.
But the thing about wrestling, right?
It's continuous.
Yeah, it's continuous, and
Yes.
it's just you and your
It's a
opponent.
solo
Yes, no, I
sport.
agree
It's just
100%. I agree 100%.
Like
yeah.
whereas with other sports you may have that backing, like you can blame a play on
Right.
somebody. Or with wrestling, you have what you go in there with, and the effort that you show on the mat, and that's it. Like, you can't argue with that. Even if somebody beats you via points, they work technicalities. Like, they knew how to wrestle. Like, they use their wit to get through the match, and that's a lot of these matches. It's not all about who's strong. Like, your technique is gonna beat strength every time. And these are the things that I apply. Like, you got a guy like Rayhan who's big as hell. He's standing over everybody in the locker room, but y'all, I'm gonna chop you down. Like, I'm gonna chop these big guys. I'm gonna use the legitimacy that comes with wrestling. Like,
Well, I think that story's the big guy versus small guys. If we're going into pro wrestling and talking about that, going back to the story being told in the match, that's the easiest story that's ever been told in wrestling is the big guy versus small guy.
I think
Yeah.
in life, bro, David and Goliath.
That's
you know
what
what
I
I'm
was
saying?
I mean,
Like,
that's what I was getting ready to reference. Thanks for beating me to the punch.
my bad. My
No,
fault.
no. It's
Great
great.
minds
It's great.
think
No,
alike,
no.
man.
That's right. That's right. I was literally getting ready to say that too. See, look. But no, so that's where when I asked you the question, what are you doing to stay, so far ahead creatively, because you are way ahead of the game creatively than most. I guess you can attribute it to the coaching part of it, at least to the coaching. Now, here's one. This is going to be one of those workers' questions that I'm going to ask you. And again, I don't like to peel back the curtain too much, but I do want to ask you this. So you're talking about your influences. Do you ever go back and watch any of the classics from back in the day? And I'm not talking about like late 90s Attitude Era stuff. I'm talking about like old school wrestling, like when I say classics, I'm talking about nothing before like 1998, where they actually wrestled back in the day on Monday Night Raw, or going back into the 80s and early 90s on WCW Saturday Night, NWA, the old school WWF, even the AWA. Do you ever go back and watch any of those guys?
a lot of flair, man.
Yes.
A lot of flair. Just for his selling. Just the stories that he would tell throughout the match, like leading into, getting into his figure four, like whatever the case may be. in my studies, we've gone as far back to Luthez. We found a Luthez match. Gorgeous George. It's a bit of Gorgeous George in terms. I look back to those times for different things, like Gorgeous George specifically for how his he's a hell of a heel. He's like
he's one of the most hated.
And the character
ever.
at the time was, not as like acceptable as it probably would be
so
today.
I don't take on so much of the flamboyance as much, but just the pride that he had for himself. Like,
Even just being
absolutely.
hated. You know what I'm saying?
Him
Like,
embracing it, like.
One of my favorite things that he would do, you're talking about that, and I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, and I saw a guy later on the Indies take this and kind of do it, so maybe this is something you might want to take and, modify a little bit. But you was talking about Gorgeous George. One of the things he used to do is he used to spray perfume on his hands, because back in the day, you had to shake hands with your opponent before you locked up. And as soon as the bell would ring, he'd be like, no, and he'd go over and he'd have his valet squirt perfume back on his hands, because he's like, oh God, I can't believe I just touched that god awful human being. And so this one guy, he would come in and he would shake hands with the guy when he was getting ready to wrestle, and then he, out of his jacket, his ring jacket, he pulled a bottle of hand sanitizer and then wiped his hands down, and he'd be like, oh God, I can't believe I touched this guy, oh God, So it's just it's little things like that. I'll tell you something I've been watching a lot of, and I'll tell you who told me later to do it, is a lot of the 80s Kurt Hennig from the AWA. Oh man, and it's
that
really
like that wasn't Mr. Perfect, Curdy?
No, that was
before.
That was about 10 years before he was Mr. Perfect in the AWA. So back then, the AWA in the 80s would have had old school cowboy Scott Hall.
Okay, yeah.
With the mustache and all that, where he's like 340 pounds and jacked muscle. They had the Rockers, Midnight Rockers. Yeah. Sherry Martell was there. I mean, there's I'm trying to think. Larry Zbyszko was there as him and Kurt Hennig were feuding a lot for the championship. So, and that's back when the AWA was still one of the top 3 promotions in the world. Mm-hmm. So, I find whenever you go back and you were talking about going back to Gorgeous George and all those guys, one of the things I find, and I hope you do too, is that you find all these little hidden gems that people haven't seen maybe in like 45 years, 30, 40 years. And you're like, I might do that tonight. Mm-hmm. Have you ever?
Yeah, I've had a few of those.
Yeah,
a few instances. I don't want to.
What he's saying is, I ain't telling you shit, Joe. I got my bag. Stay out of it, man.
No, I got it. I've got them for days. And I don't mind sharing a few, but we won't do that on.
That brings me into it.
So I recently.
Yeah, tell me when you've done in the past.
Well, Lance Storm and Chris Candido.
What a bag.
ECW or
ECW. Yeah, ECW. What was it?
Yeah, it would have been either that or it'd been late WCW.
Nah, it was ECW. ECW. They did they did a few things I've incorporated like in the past. Like they did a deal where Candido powdered it was either Lance or Candido. They powdered. They run in. Came in, ran behind them, ducked the line, leapfrog, smacked it with a drop kick. But I don't know, me trying to explain it to you.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm right there with you.
I look for different hidden gems, like you said.
Yeah.
Things that people haven't seen. That's the idea. Try to pick from things that you can throw into your match that, I feel like we all so conditioned.
Yeah. Great artist still, man. And
we don't call it stealing, we call it borrowing.
Stealing, man. Like,
you know what I'm saying? That quote.
That's why earlier you asked me just about emulation. Bro. Like I try to, you take little bits and you gotta twist it.
Twist it. That's what I mean. Like, like it's like.
I take a little bit from everything, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one thing that I've noticed though, that you just stand out so much more than anybody else, and it's like I don't even think you can teach it, or you could get it, or you could take it. I think it's just a culmination of growing up and everything you like being in. It's just the swag, bro. Like, you're cool,
It's
bro.
the charisma.
It's the way you walk, you come out the curtain, the walk, you know what I'm saying? You bobbing the head. It's just the swag. It's like the term now is aura. You know what I'm saying? It's the aura, bro. Like, it's like that shit that you can't teach, you know? Like,
Yeah,
you
you can't
teach
it,
that. You know, it's like, that's the most impressive thing to me, man. It's like, it's just like the swag, the aura. It's like, that's more important almost to me than anything else. You know, it's like,
I think one of the things you do also is you carry yourself like a star.
like a grown ass man, bro.
Like,
I thought you was older
there's
than me.
There's a
I swear.
There's a
I swear, dude.
there's a certain and you keep a certain level of humility about it. I have a hard time doing that. I'll go ahead and tell you.
We know.
I'm always told I'm a cocky prick. Okay,
Shoe fits.
man, well, I mean, but it's also one of those things that have you sat down and talked to me, right? And then you and I have actually sat down. We've talked. We've had those conversations before. So hopefully your opinion is a little bit different, but at the same time, you really walk the line way better than I ever could of the star versus Khalif. And you're whenever it's time to be Khalif, you are one of the nicest, most humble people I've ever been around, and I mean that with all due respect. But however, when the Dontay Khalifa shows up and he is in his heel persona, fuck you, motherfucker. That's all I'm going to say. All right? And that's the reaction you want. Again, can't say that, I mean it more than anything. I am so proud of you for your moment this past weekend. You are so deserving of that. You're an inspiration to a lot of these kids out here.
It's a fact, man.
You're on your way, and you have no idea, and I see how far you're going to go.
I appreciate you, man. We just gotta keep growing, man. Like,
Shit inspires me, and I don't even wrestle, bro. But I'm gonna take that inspiration into whatever else I do. It's gonna inspire me in some other completely different way.
nice. That's good to hear, yo.
Now let's get down to the business, man. Let's talk about the Dontay Khalifa.
Bro, I have one thing I want to get off for sure. Going into that, definitely. One thing that I noticed is we talked about the creativity, man. And I followed you on Instagram since we went and seen you at that first match. And I see you steady posting, like, getting ready for that next match, just trying to promote or whatever it may be, getting ready, calling the dude out. And, bro, you're great at it. I love it. I think one of my favorite ones was Rayhan. And, yeah, I'm trying to remember what you said. Revenge is a dish best served with some stank on it. Bro, you said it was the bro, I love it. It's you said something about the fudge round father. Talking about cream pie poppy, man. I loved it, man.
That's one of my favorite ones that I've cut. Like, I'm at the Walmart. He's a cream pie poppy, and I stuffed this cart full of fudge rounds. Like, I pretty much every box of fudge rounds that they had I just throw it in the box. Yeah, it took a few takes, and that last take we got it good because they were coming to kick me out for screaming my name throughout the store. But yeah, it's just this thing with Rayhan is serious, man. If I can, this one I look at.
Yeah, this is one right here.
Hey, go ahead, get your take. When is this gonna air?
When you want it to air? You want it out this week?
Man, yeah, let's get this thing out soon.
We'll get it out this week.
While we're here, yo, Rayhan, Dontay Khalifa 4 takes place November 23rd in Augusta, Georgia. I'm making my singles IWE debut, and I had my first match in Augusta actually for Hope Championship Wrestling, so this is a homecoming of sorts for me.
Full circle.
Yeah, and we're going against Rayhan.
Man,
it's business. Like I said, this is our first time going at it, and I will fight Rayhan to the day I die. I'm gonna keep kicking him in his temple.
Okay.
Yo, he choked me out with a cream pie a few shows ago.
We see. I wasn't gonna bring that up. Honestly, I wasn't gonna bring that up.
It's business. whenever I see Rayhan, yo, we're gonna fight for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna fight for a long time.
I think that's a good it's a good dance partner to have. I think y'all bring.
I whip his ass.
Yeah. Okay. You got anything after that? What's the upcoming dates, man? Where can the people come see Dontay?
So you're gonna want to see the follow up to this. Yo, speak of the devil. Rayhan just posted a reel and tagged me in it. You're gonna want to see me, your new Wrestling Evolution heavyweight champion, December 7th at the Cross Country Campgrounds. The follow up to this crazy show.
You did one, man.
So what?
You made something happen, man.
What happened?
Well,
Dontay's perspective of
chaos.
You beat everybody's ass. What, like, you cleaned shop. You introduced, the faction, the drip.
The drip.
I mean, it almost seems like a hostile takeover.
Yeah.
From my perspective.
And that's what it is.
And it felt like that.
Good.
I got out of there. I seen it going haywire.
It was not a safe place to.
I said, we got to go. My man has children.
Yeah, it wasn't a safe place to be.
Come on.
He has children. I said, party
think about these things, man.
We got to go. I don't know what does.
Now,
what?
see, the thing is, right? You have myself. Don Furio had the nerve to challenge me for the heavyweight championship, and I had the Ascension contract. Could have exercised, like I said, could have exercised the clause established in the contract a long time ago, but I allowed him to go on and have a hell of a reign. He did it. Yo, Don Furio was a hell of a champion. Yo, it took out some names. Yo, he really continued on from the standard that Christopher Prince set before him, and yo, he did his thing for a long time. He carried the company on his back. He made the mistake of challenging me.
I will say it wasn't the smartest move.
It was not the smartest move. So aside from myself, you have Tommy Okami, who was a former Legacy champion. He was a champion before Mason Allen. Never got his rematch. I didn't
know that. That makes me a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a champion before Mason, and not to mention Mason Allen cheated to get the title.
I could have told you that.
Yeah, so there was never any.
So this is build up. This is a build up thing. This is not like a new.
No. All right, then you got Django. Django was in the tournament, the inaugural Wrestling Evolution Cup tournament. Winner of that tournament gets an opportunity at the heavyweight title. He ends up in a match with Rayhan. I don't know if that's just somebody trying to be funny, putting the two of them together. But yo, his old partner Valo gets involved, costs him the match. Yo, and there's no justice. It's like another individual on the roster wrong, just for no reason, and there's nothing became of it. Then you have Chase Coleman. Now, I don't know if you guys have been coming around when this thing with me and Caprice Coleman got started, but
Whoa. Let me talk about my boy now.
Man, yo, listen. Caprice was injured coming into the year, and he's been ducking me. Caprice Coleman has been ducking me for a while. But
you think he's ducking you, or do you think maybe that rehab's taking longer because of his age?
He's been ducking me because he doesn't want to step in the ring with Khalifa. Now, his son, Chase Coleman, had the cojones to actually step in the ring with me and put on a hell of a fight. Had me on my last limb. His dad, Caprice Coleman, throws in the towel and ends the match.
I do. We were there. That was the first one we came to. Yeah,
throws in the towel,
that.
Ends the match. Yo, Chase had me, bro. Chase is the man. Yo, he's a Coleman. Yo, and just when he was this close to getting the job done, doing something that a lot of people have not been able to do, which is take out the Khalifa at Evolution. Just when he was this close, his father throws in the towel and stops it from happening. Yo, and I'm telling Chase, like, listen. Yo, you almost had me, brother. Yo, had it not been for your dad, I don't know if he's trying to keep you in his shadow or what, but yo, you're on your way. Let's do business. Let's do business. Let me show you how you could have beat me faster. Like how we could have got to the end a bit quicker. Like yo, because I'm willing to show you. You know, we're not perfect. I'm still, you know what I mean. Coach. So I'll let you know. Like yo, had you done this, you'd have had me. But ultimately, had it not been for your dad throwing in the towel, yo, you might have had the whole match, and we could have been looking. It could have been Chase sitting here with the heavyweight championship. We don't know, and we'll never know. Huh?
That sounds a little conniving.
Well, it sounds.
You sound evil right now.
We literally have the footage to back everything that I'm saying up.
After hearing you explain this,
sound like you are conniving right now, and you're trying to split a
no. See, I get something different after hearing this. I kind of thought, man, maybe this is a revenge tour, but no. This is a tour of justice.
That's why I'm on your show, because you get it.
I think I understand.
Yo, this is a group of individuals that have been wrong.
Listen,
yo, we're taking over Wrestling Evolution, yo. So, and with me at the helm with the Wrestling Evolution title, yo, we're coming for the tag titles. We're coming for that Legacy Championship. Yo, there's gonna be another Ascension match. Cause, yo, we want that. Like, yo, we're coming to take over this company. Anybody who looks at Evolution as a destination spot, because it is. Evolution is a place to be. Yo, you come through, you got to get through the drip. All right, so that's
a tough wall to get through, man.
As you can see.
Yo,
this past show ended with bodies. Yo, you guys are gone because this building had been evacuated. But yo,
they kicked us out.
Yo, I'm sitting in the chair in the center of the ring, and there's bodies surrounding me, and I'm in the center with this sitting around my waist. Rayhan sitting right there.
Explain now, real quick, bro. Explain that feeling to me, like that
was surreal though. That was something. That was
because you seen the plan. Obviously, the plan had been made.
For me, yeah. It's been set in stone. Like this has been a part of the plan for me. Come in, make a statement. I may not have won my first few matches at Evolution. Peterbilt, we don't got to talk about him. We got to talk about Peterbilt. But I come through. I win the Ascension contract. Yo, and I go on a run. I take on Jordan Hall, Diego Hill, Maurice Moss, who was a brother of mine, LeBron Cozone. That's Sensei right there. That's OG. That's 5-star Grandmaster. Yo, Chase Coleman. Yo, Cooper Housley, number 7 ranked power slap athlete.
Come on.
Yo, I get the dub. Easy over dub. Him. Easy dub. Because he couldn't control himself.
You feel me? Like
he couldn't control himself. But see, I think big picture. So I take him out. Ty D'Angelo comes up from South Carolina. I shut him down in the tournament. Yo, Caitlin Marie.
Oh, man. Come on, you ain't have to. You didn't have to do that to her, man.
I did though.
You did. I
did though, because she hit me harder than a lot of the guys in the locker room. A lot of guys.
We talk about stiff.
Yo,
let's see that.
Yo, Caitlin's a beast. So I had to, out of respect, I shut her down after the match. Out of respect. We get to Luke Fury. I catch him out the sky.
Literally.
Shut him down. We get to Rayhan. We find ourselves with a little hiccup there, but we made up for that at the following event. Yo, the Dontay Khalifa has been on the run of a lifetime, and this is just we just getting started. We just getting started, yo. Like I said, we just getting started. We have there are a multitude of stories that we're getting to that are going to be told. A lot of matches that are about to be had, a lot of bangers that are about to be put on, and a hell of a reign that's just getting started.
Hell yeah, man! Listen,
man, I want to see the drip prevail, man.
You don't have to wait.
I want you to do one thing for me.
What you got?
Dontay, listen, you looking at this camera, this last however long you need to take, man. I want you to give a mission statement for the drip. I want you to lay out this. I want you to tell them who Dontay Khalifa is, where they can find you, where they can come see you. And then I want to know the plan. I want to know the mission. I want to know, like, tell them just lay it out for them, man. Let everyone know the Dontay Khalifa's plan.
See, strategy doesn't unveil.
Okay, understandable, or whatever you want to say.
No, but I leave,
whatever you want to let the people.
I'll
know.
leave you with this. For a year and a half, I've been here in the industry. You know, stating my claim. You know, doing what I can to cement myself as a credible opponent to any man that deems himself of a higher caliber. Any man who deems himself the top guy. Every day, every show, every chance I get, I'm looking to do what I can to take those guys out. I'm doing what I can to be the best, the Dontay Khalifa that I can be. Because me and my best, there's nobody that's touching the Khalifa. You know, with us being so young, there's still a lot of lessons to learn. We still have a long way to go, but I think we're off to one hell of a start. I think any man who wants a piece of the Khalifa, any man who wants to take this from me, or just see what all the hype is about, come on, come find out what the hype is about. Cause I've been about this, as I said, since 8 years old. This has been the plan. So yeah, I'm comfortable. This is right where I
should be.
This is where I should be. This feels natural to me. And anybody who plans on taking this from me or painting me out in a way that's not beneficial to me and the goals that I have for myself and the story that I'm telling, you're a threat. And the Khalifa don't do threats.
They better think.
So I'll tell you like this. Where you can find me, Charlotte, North Carolina. If I got to get to you, I will drive in my car and I will make my way to you. This ass whooping is universal. It is non-discriminatory. This ass whooping does not discriminate between age, gender, race. You can get your ass whooped. All right. Wherever, be it in New York, Georgia. Like I said, catch me November 23rd. Augusta, Georgia, IWE, whether it's in Denver, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, South Carolina. I'm about to get my license again and continue to run amok in South Carolina. We're going to branch out to Tennessee, School of Mort. You can catch me out there. We're going to keep taking over. We're going to take over the United States. We're going to take over the East Coast. We're going to spread out. We're going to take over the West Coast. Then we're going to take over Japan. Then we're going to make our way to Mexico. Then we're going to make this ass whooping international. I'm handing out international ass whoopings. And anybody who wants it, they can get it. They can get it. I'm not a hard man to find. At the Dontay Khalifa on all platforms. If you have a problem, I am not a hard man to find. I'm laying the claim right now. Anybody who wants it, and that's a lot of people who I'm gunning. This is just the beginning, yo. This is just me getting started, yo. There's still a lot of ass to be whooped. A lot of people who don't know the name the Dontay Khalifa that will know the name very soon. That's the plan. This is a hostile takeover. As far as the drip, you all saw the destruction that we laid out this past Saturday at Wrestling Evolution, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. All right, we are here to stay. We are here to run amok. We are here for the gold. We are here for the money. And we are willing and ready to put in the miles and put in the work to back it up. We will have the data to show why we are who we are.
I love it.
Just
cold chill.
That's it.
Come holler at me.
Man.
You want your ass whooped, come holler at me.
One more time.
Not
you
a
heard
hard
the man.
to find.
One more time. That is the Dontay Khalifa, man.
It was...
Oh, that's all right.
One enough stank on that.
That's it. That is the Dontay Khalifa.
See, as great as that is, there's only one person who can put the stank on it. When you say my name, you put some stank on it. That is the Dontay Khalifa. I'm not a hard man to find. You need your ass whooped? Come holler.
Oh.